it's Nikki. Let's get down to business, shall we? I am wearing my Burda top. What is it? Burda 6722. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I'm wearing. And I definitely think I need to make a shoulder adjustment. So I'll think about that for next time. Anyways, that's what I'm wearing today. So today I am going to show you my Halloween costume and a couple other things I've got going on today. But this is basically what I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. And you would think that the amount of time that has passed would mean that I did a really good job on it. But I didn't. I didn't. So my sewing time, usually the majority of my sewing gets done on the weekends. I have like an hour, 2, 3, 4 here during the week before work, but sometimes I have other stuff going on and sometimes I end up sleeping through it because I love sleeping, apparently. And yeah, so the majority of my sewing gets done on my weekend. But I've been gone for most of the weekends leading up to Halloween. I think it was both weekends in the beginning, and then the third weekend was when I needed the costume by, so I really didn't have a lot of time to actually sew. So this thing is a little bit more thrown together than I would do if it was, you know, anything else. So for me, I love Halloween. I love it so much. And so this year, I went for it. And Halloween costumes for me, I don't generally recycle. I might recycle bits of them, but I don't generally wear them over and over and over again, right? So I like to get really inspired by what I want to do, and sometimes I go to parties that have a theme, and sometimes they don't, you know, and then it's up to my own devices. Sometimes Tim is here, which gives you a lot more options, but this time it was just me, so it had to be very easily recognizable, right? Because if you're in a couple's costume, you can kind of use the other person's costume to play off of yours. That way, if you do something a little bit harder to guess, it's easier to guess when you're as a pair. But when you go by yourself, like, to me, the alchemy of a perfect Halloween costume is it has to be immediately recognizable for what it is. No one wants to spend the entire night explaining to people what they are. If you have to explain it, it didn't land. You know what I mean? So it had to be easily recognizable. I wanted it to be comfortable. I don't do skanky Halloween costumes. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm all about flying that flag if that's what you want to do. But for me, it's like, I feel like if I want to dress up like a tart, I could do that any day of the week, and I would do it any day of the week. But for Halloween, I like to get more creative. So this year I decided that I would go as Uma Thurman from Kill Bill with that yellow tracksuit. There is, unless you haven't seen the movie, there's no way you would miss it. Like, everyone's just gonna be like, oh yeah, I get it, right? So I thought that would be good if I could do it solo. And then this one I may recycle into next year if I go to a Halloween party. And if Tim is there, I can put him as one of the other characters. I'm thinking Go-Go, because she had the schoolgirl outfit with like the mace. I think it's a mace, the ball and the chain thing. I think Tim would look really good in a schoolgirl outfit, and there's nothing I love more on Halloween than cross-dressing. So yeah, let's get into it. Anyways, now that you've heard my philosophy on Halloween costumes, you know, so whatever. So let me get into it. I was in a little bit of a jam as far as patterns go, because when I needed the pattern, when I needed to like find a pattern, there was absolutely nothing on sale, and I had to like get going on this, right? So I had this one in my stash. It's B6596, and it's a Catherine Tilton pattern. So there were no reviews at the time that I looked. There were no reviews on Pattern Review. So that was what I was going to use for the top, and then this one I actually managed to buy. So I had this one, and I cut these pieces out first, and I went out and got this one on sale It's Simplicity 8698. Okay, so basically her outfit, and you know what? I'll put a picture in right here. Okay, so you can see that they're like a slim track pant with a black stripe down the side, and then the jacket, this jacket pattern doesn't quite match it, but it was the best I had at the time, and I really had to get going on it. So what I was gonna have to do, because she has a stripe under her arm and she has a stripe down the sleeve. So for this one, this has a side panel. It's like it's almost like, it's a princess seam, I guess. So the princess seam goes right here. So in the side panel and in the sleeve and then in the pants, I ended up adding in a strip of black ponte. I guess I could have just sewn it over the top, but I thought it would be like stiff and bulky, and I kind of just wanted it inset. So I did some calculation, which I wrote on a piece of paper and lost it after I did it, but basically it involved like slicing through the pattern pieces and accounting for all the seam allowance, and I think I ended up with a 2-inch stripe everywhere that I wanted a stripe to be. And then yeah, so as far as the pants go, they were very easy. I made view A, which is the top, this one right here. Now, these ones call for putting the stripe on top of it. I didn't do that. Like, once I decided what I wanted, I pretty much ignored the instructions for the pants entirely and just kind of went with it. Yeah, so let me show you those. Because I would say out of the two items, these went much better. They were very easy. So here I'm not wearing them right now. I have an appointment to go to later. I mean, you guys can clearly see that I'm not wearing them. I don't know why I feel the need to tell you what you can clearly see for yourself. Anyway, so here's the bottom. I will, of course, insert a couple of pictures of me wearing them if you follow me on Instagram, which I do not post to nearly as much, so it's almost not worth it to follow me on Instagram. But if you do, you will have already seen some pictures of me in my costume. And yeah, I was very lazy. Like you can see the serger thread, I didn't bother to change it from the last thing I sewed up on the serger. But yeah, they worked out pretty well. I happened to have yellow cord that matched perfectly. Like, look at this. It's perfect. Like, there is no difference in the color here. I just happen to have it laying around. I don't know why. I just did. Anyway, so here's my stripe inset right here. And it all went together really easily. The fit was great. So I didn't have to make any adjustments to the crotch or the waist. Of course, it's elastic, so it's pretty forgiving. And yeah, it looked fine. And then the only thing I did do was, once I had them made, I tried them on and I was like, oh no, 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 no. I have to narrow this leg. I probably should have actually made either C or D, which is a more narrow leg. I probably should have done that, but I was afraid it would be too tapered because she's kind of got like a straight leg look in that thing. But honestly, it probably would have worked out better if I had done it that way. Yeah, so these turned out really good and I was pretty happy with it. Yeah. And I didn't even bother switching out to the cover stitch and doing a nice cover stitch hem on these things. I just lightning bolt. I didn't even care. I was like, I got to get this done because I gave myself so little actual time to do it. Anyway, so the pants worked out good, and then I did get a pair of cheap shoes and spray painted them yellow to match. I think it's pretty close. So yeah, but if you're going to spray paint a pair of shoes, I recommend giving yourself more than 12 hours in between spray painting them and wearing them, which is not what I did. And it was a tough car ride. I'm lucky that I don't care what happens to my floor mats in my car because they are now like patchy and yellow because look, driving there was rough. Anyways, let's move on to the jacket. Now, this jacket there's a lot of stuff going on in here. There's some side pockets, there's some zip pockets. I didn't put any pockets in anything. The pants also call for pockets, and I was like, nah, don't have time. No pockets. So I didn't do any pockets. I left all of that out. Now, the pattern pieces for this jacket are kind of weird. So like the front bit right here, they're the same, even though the zipper is off to one side. Here, I'll show you. So the zipper is off to the side and kind of at an angle. Both these front pieces are exactly the same. Now look, full disclosure, I don't know if I like this pattern. It might be because I was going really fast and not taking my time and just whipping through it at breakneck speed, and I omitted a lot of things and I wasn't being real careful with, you know, finishing seams and all that stuff, but I feel like this sucks. So, so the front pieces, let me see if I can find that pattern piece, because it is crazy, guys. It is crazy how this thing works out. Okay, so here's a front pattern piece. I made no adjustments to these, by the way, none at all. So you have, oh my God, and it's all flying away. So basically, yeah, this is the front. So you've got like, what the hell? A dart. Yes, a dart. You have a dart right here, and then you have to like sew it to a corner, because what ends up happening is this thing basically this is like the back of your neck. Like this is the collar piece right here. And it's just, like it is, but it was let me just show you. Let me just show you, because I feel dumb. This is very sloppy, okay? So don't judge me too harshly. But I'll just throw it on real quick. I'm glad I didn't put blood all over it. I think I'll do that next time. Look how loosey-goosey this collar is. I don't know what happened here, but so, and like I said, don't judge me too harshly for my sloppy stitching. If I wasn't in such a time crunch and if it wasn't just a Halloween costume, I would have been more careful. So you've got this front piece. Here's the dart I was telling you guys about. Now, don't pay attention to all this nonsense here. I was just being, I had to sew over it like a million times, because it stops here and then goes in, and you have to like sew. It's so hard to explain what's happening. Anyways, like there was a hole from where that corner is. So when you look at this pattern piece right here, so you're gonna stitch here, and then this whole thing, you know how you have to do is, you know, flatten it out like that. But I couldn't get it to stop with the hole, so I ended up just, I was not my best self, okay? Anyways, so this is like really baggy though. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's, I mean, this is a pretty, it's a knit. It shouldn't have stretched out like crazy like that. And I'm sure it's somehow my fault. I'm sure that it is. I'm sure some of it has to do with me, you know, top stitching it down. But, sorry, hang on. There's a airplane. Okay, it's almost gone. So yeah, I'm sure some of it had to do with like the way you like fold it over or whatever and stitch. Oh, that's actually not what you do. There's actually, so I didn't read the instructions. Apparently, I clearly didn't read the instructions. Apparently, you cut out 4 of the front pieces, and the front pieces also make like a self-facing. Well, I didn't do that. I wasn't paying any attention, and I'm an idiot. So we just got the front. So maybe this would have turned out differently if I would have followed the instructions better, but I still am pretty sure that I'm just not into this. But it fit really nicely. And then the zipper instructions were also, that I actually paid attention to, and it was really, really, really difficult for me to understand what they were asking me to do with this side of the zipper, right? So I just like sewed it on the front. Okay, that's what I did. I don't know if that was the right way or the wrong way to do it. I haven't revisited the instructions to see where I went wrong, but that's how it ended up, and it worked out just fine. But yeah, it is weird though that it just kind of like sits in here, and that the tape is fully exposed. I have no doubt that I probably should have like done like some sort of wrong sides type of magic to make it less exposed like that. But I, for the life of me, can't wrap my head around how I could have done it any differently in the moment. Anyways, it turned out pretty good. It has these little princess panels here. That's where I added the stripe to, just this little side panel, and then to the sleeve. Also, I cut out the sleeves. I put the sleeves together in a way that I think one of them is on with the back side facing front, but you can't really tell I'm wearing it, so I'm willing to let that slide. And I'm pretty sure that was 100% the fault of me cutting this, having to add the strip in. I think I just got the pieces mixed up and ended up with 2 left sleeves or whatever it may have been. So yeah, full disclosure, the jacket could have gone a little bit better, but the point of the Halloween costume was to look like a person, and every single person at the party knew who I was, so I would still call it a success. Even if my sewing wasn't a success, I would say that my idea was a success. So I'm going to go ahead and count that as a win in my book, and just try not to look too closely at it. Notice I didn't really show you the insides of it, and there is good reason for that. They are sloppy as hell, and that's just how it's going to be. Alright, so that was the Halloween costume. That has been the sole focus for me for a couple of weeks now, in between all the crazy stuff I've been doing. Now, let's get into what I'm working on now. I had started on my jeans. I got them all cut out and everything before I started on the Halloween costume, and I have made 0 progress on that with the exception of embroidering the pockets, which I'm working on while I do nothing at work. If in my spare time, I have been working on some embroidery. So here's what I decided to go with. A little floral motif. I think it's supposed to be like a baby's breath kind of situation, but to me it looks more like ragweed. But I think it's pretty, so I've got, here's one of them, this one's finished, and then I have another one that's almost finished. So I think I should have those done by Friday. So I've been working on that, so hopefully I will be able to work on my jeans this weekend. But then also, I have been working on my dad's, getting the patterns ready to make my dad's shirts. So because all I have are his measurements, he lives several states away. So what I'm gonna do is sew up some test ones, some muslin, and then I'll mail them to him, and we can FaceTime when he tries them on, and I'll send him a couple of like magic clips or whatever that he can pinch if he needs to, and he can send it back, and then I'll know what adjustments need to be made. Hopefully that's how it goes. Hopefully they're at least close. But what I've got so far is, I think I showed you this Mimi G pattern, or not Mimi G, I guess it's a Mimi G pattern, but that's Norris, her handsome fella right there. So I'm going to make him this version, but I think I'm going to just do contrasting sleeves. I think my dad probably has less flair than Norris does, so we'll probably go with something that looks more like that, but with the crew neck of this one. Okay, so, and for his... for my dad's muslin, I am going to be making it out of some very nice fabrics that I'm sure he's gonna... I'm considering sending him the package and not telling him that it's not the final garment, because here is one of the front pieces. This is a nice floral foiled pink jersey, and that might be a sleeve actually. And then for the other panels, because I didn't have enough of either one of these to do the whole thing, we've got this weird camo. No, these are sleeves. This is a sleeve, and then this is what the front and the back will be made out of. So lovely, right? Should I tell him or should I not tell him? Should I like send him the package and make him think that this is the final product and I'm really proud of it, and this is and see if he'll and see what he'll say? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking about it. I mean, I feel like I've tortured him enough by making him wait so long for some shirts, but I also don't know if I can resist making him squirm a little bit. Tell me what you think. Okay. I think that's all I've got for right now. Yeah. Man. I'm tempted. I'm really tempted. Should I be a good daughter or should I be a bad daughter? Tell me. Let me know. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's all I got for today. Like I said, I haven't been up to much else lately. So hopefully by the next time we talk, I will have some actual impressive stuff to show you. Probably not, but I'm going to try. Okay, so that's it for me. Have a lovely day, and I will talk to you next Thursday. Bye.